called the what? The what? The trap. They were really good, and then they like fell off. Like, yeah, yeah. The Village was great. I even really liked Lady in the Water. A lot of people didn't like that one. I liked it. It it has a very similar feel to a lot of the other ones, but I liked it because it was like the whole like everything happens for a reason, right? Which is kind of the premise of Signs. Everything happens for a reason, right? So I liked it. He didn't get a lot of credit for it. And then that other one I did not like was the Mark Wahlberg one. Remember that one with like the wind was basically killing people off? Yeah, that was just ugh. Sure. Is my mic open? Great. TJ, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing great. Good to have you on today.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me on.
We will be with you in about 2 minutes. We're talking about election stuff leading up to and the Brett Baer interview from last night, and then we'll get to you.
Okay.
Sounds good. Thank you. What did you think? Yeah. Yeah. Most most Stephen King things are cheesy. Yeah. Yeah. I wasn't even crazy about it. I don't really like any of his stuff. I feel like there's always a weird incest thing going on. Always. Thank you. Well, are we witnessing the Kamala collapse? It certainly looks like it. Vice President Kamala Harris was absolutely smoked in a sit down interview with Fox News host Brett Baer in a move that was as bold as it was risky. She took the chance to gain support from independent voters with just weeks before Election Day. But instead, she crashed and burned. I'm Ben Swan. This is Truth in Media. I've been telling you for weeks that the biggest mistake the Harris-Walz campaign has made is not doing tough interviews. And to wait until the final hour to do so, a really, really bad idea. Something blinked. Did it blink? Yeah. We'll just take it from there. Yeah. Just scrolls back to the. We don't need before the show intro, right? Right there. Yep. Okay. Just count it in. In 3, 2. I've been telling you for weeks that the biggest mistake the Harris-Walz campaign has made is not doing enough tough interviews. And to wait until the final hour to... I've been telling you for weeks that the biggest mistake the Harris-Walz campaign has made is not doing tough interviews and had to wait. So now's my bad. Let's do it again. Okay? In 3, 2. I've been telling you for weeks that the biggest... Nope. Again. What are they refreshing? It should be fine? Okay. Try it now. In 3, 2. I've been telling you for weeks that the biggest mistake the Harris-Walz campaign has made is not doing tough interviews and to wait until the final hour to do one. Okay. I've been telling you for weeks that the biggest mistake the Harris-Walz campaign has made is not doing tough interviews. And to wait until the final hour to do one is a really, really bad idea. Vice President Kamala Harris's recent media blitz is an act of desperation. Well, when you get desperate, you do foolish things. And boy, did this seem foolish. First, Harris is questioned about immigration, and immediately she appeared to dodge and deflect, dodge and deflect. The question was so simple. How many illegal immigrants have entered the country during the Biden administration? And here's what she said, or wouldn't say. Did you follow that? She wasn't about to answer the question and engage in policy. In fact, she couldn't even bring herself to call the problem a crisis. And what about Harris's time as vice president? She doubled down, saying there's nothing she would have done differently, but then said if she wins, her term would be nothing like Joe Biden's. She claims to represent a new generation of leadership. Here's the problem. Hear how she responds to polls that 79% of Americans, 79% think the country is headed in the wrong direction. Do you know what she's talking about? At a time where support is low and she's given a platform to reach a new voter group, she fumbles around and is unclear with her messaging. Here's the thing. None of these questions were shockers. She should have been ready for all of them. And instead, she seemed to be ready for none of them. But one thing that really did seem to catch her by surprise was the point at which she was asked about Joe Biden's mental capacity and when she realized it had diminished. Harris stuck to her well-rehearsed script, throwing praise at Biden, then steering the conversation back to, you guessed it, Donald Trump. But here's where she really comes off as disingenuous. As his vice president, Harris vouched for Biden's fitness for office, even after millions witnessed the president fumble and mumble through that first presidential debate. It's flat out dishonest. If this interview was supposed to reassure the American people, and specifically independent voters, that she's going to turn the page forward, she couldn't tell you one thing she was going to do without reverting to the same stump speech that she has repeated over and over and over again. Congratulations, Democrats. You have a parrot for a nominee. Joining me now to discuss is TJ Roberts. He is a candidate running for election to the Kentucky House of Representatives, District 66. TJ, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me on, Ben.
So
appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. What stood out to me about this interview, really more than anything else, was this is the first time that viewers, I think, actually got to see a tough interview, which led to Kamala Harris getting mad. It's the same kind of mad that she tried to draw out of Trump during their debate. How did you see it?
I saw it the exact same way, and I frankly saw it as the contrast with our political class, where you can have an artificial politician or you can have an authentic one, right? Kamala Harris demonstrated that fundamentally she is an artificial plant. She was put there by the Democrat elites because they knew there was zero chance of Joe Biden winning after the first debate. And frankly, part of that, though, is because we have a new generation that craves authenticity because they have been lied to so much. That's our millennials, that's Gen Z voters, that's the people that are bearing the consequences of the near century of progressive policies that has economically crushed us, that Kamala Harris is a part of.
Wow, that's such a good point, right? There's this kind of fabricated, not grassroots, but instead AstroTurf candidate who's simply appointed. Not one single person has cast a vote for her yet. So why do you think her team has waited so long? Because it seems as if the original plan was what they did with Biden in 2020. Don't go out there, don't give interviews, don't give speeches, right? Stay away as long as possible. It wasn't working. And so now at the 11th hour, they're sending her out into the most aggressive interviews where she's just getting trounced.
I think a lot of it was that they realized that the polling was so bad, the state of our nation is so bad, that incumbency is not an advantage anymore. Ben, I took out a candidate who had been in office since the year I was born by 50 points, despite him having me out fundraised 10-1, despite everyone knowing his name. But the reason why was because they governed poorly. Likewise, Joe Biden and Kamala Harris had 4 years to turn this country around, to get us out of the COVID disaster, to get us back to a market where people can prosper. They failed miserably. They prioritized any interest other than the interest of Americans. They had their chance and they failed. They figured that the Hail Mary option was just put her in front of the media in the hopes that she can slander Donald Trump and get independent voters to hate her less than they hate Donald Trump. And that was a disaster. That was an abject failure last night.
I think the idea that we're going to continue to vote for the lesser of two evils is a failing message. Tell us about your platform. You mentioned that you've taken out a long running incumbent. Why did you decide to enter the race for Kentucky House?
So I entered the race to restore the founder's vision for the role of government, which is the preservation of life, liberty, and property. Generally speaking, I don't know how to run your life. Constitution doesn't give me that authority. Even if it did, wouldn't be comfortable making that decision. I've ran on free market principles, on an absolute adherence to our United States Constitution, ran on the grassroots, focused on what the people were demanding rather than what the special interests in the capital were demanding. Likewise, that's what I view what Donald Trump is doing, where we're actually getting back to that limited role of government, where we're actually, rather than just slowing down the growth of government, we're actually getting back to that original intent.
Imagine the idea of not slowing the growth of government, but shrinking the size of it. Could be a completely different country. TJ Roberts, thanks so much for your time.
Thank you, sir.
Well, it seems like we are already seeing the impacts of Kamala Harris's interview with Fox News. Take a look at this. This is the live betting odds on Kalshi.com right now. It's showing Donald Trump with a 56% chance of snagging the presidency. Kamala Harris, she has dropped now to 44%. And that term we used at the beginning, the Kamala collapse, we stole it from these guys. She also appears to be winning every battleground state. Let me rephrase that. She also appears to be losing every battleground state except for Nevada. Now, remember, these are not official poll numbers. They're betting odds from a legit prediction site. If you place a bet, it's going to get streamed live across the entire internet. So while it's not gospel, it gives us a pretty solid glimpse of where this roller coaster of a race might be headed come election day, because people here are betting real money, which means they actually have something to lose. Well, hot on the heels of aid sent to the Middle East, Washington has just announced yet another round of support headed to Ukraine. Yes, of course. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken has tweeted an additional $425 million will be sent from the U.S. to bolster Ukraine's defense efforts. Thank goodness, because they don't have enough over there, right? That's not exactly a shocker, but here's what's really interesting. The reaction it sparked. Who cares about his tweet? Look at the tweet responses, because Gunther Eagleman tweets this, quote, "You're a traitor. Not another penny to Ukraine. We have millions of forgotten Americans. This money could help." Another user writes, $425 million to Ukraine for a war that does nothing for America. Meanwhile, FEMA is broke back home. And Ian Carroll adds, quote, "Remind us how much has gone to hurricane survivors here? Expletive traitor." This tweet is worth looking at, not because of the dribble from Anthony Blinken, but to read the comments alone. If you think Americans are still behind the funding of this war in Ukraine, think again. Americans are frustrated and fed up with seeing their tax dollars shipped overseas for causes that benefit no one but Ukrainian oligarchs and, of course, defense contractors. This is why the war in Ukraine and all foreign interventions that do not directly the U.S. Let's do this part again. Back up. 3, 2. This is why the war in Ukraine and all foreign interventions that do not directly impact the U.S. need to be stopped today. It's not about American first. No, let's do it again. Back up again. Right there. 3, 2. This is why the war in Ukraine and all foreign interventions that do not directly impact the U.S. need to be stopped today. It's not about America first anymore. Now I'm seeing people talk about America only. That is our show. You can catch all of our latest coverage on the race. Check us out on X at @truth_in_media, and you can watch all of our full episodes right now at truthinmedia.com. Good. Cool. Yeah, we'll do shorts. Yeah, but no, I'll keep the mic. No, thank you, ma'am. Right. I would, yeah, I give him that one, the Super Bowl, on a different one. Stein. Oh, Jill Stein. Yeah. She's been like the Green Party candidate like 3 election cycles now. Yeah, well, absolutely, because she's the only one who's anti-Israel, pro-Palestinian. So of course they're going to vote for her, right? Because to them, it's not a lesser of two evils. They're like, why are we going to vote for this candidate who loves Israel and this candidate who argues I love them more? Like, well, it seems like you're voting for the death of your own people. Normally they would, but he's actually gained a lot of ground. What I think he should have done, I think what Trump should have done, because he's never going to take the Jewish vote. What he should have done is he should have. Yes. Wow. Yeah. Wow. Wow. What's the size of the page that it's on? Okay.
24 July.
But how many followers does it have?
I got close to 17,000.
Oh wow! And you're doing 3 million views and 23 million views.
No, I got 14 million account reach in 30 days.
Wow!
And look, this I posted yesterday.
Wow!
And look at this other one.
Wow!
So, and I think it's because I'm really tapping into. I'm doing some news about stuff Brazil and stuff.
Yeah.
Brazil has the largest.
It's Brazil's big and it's super like oppressed in terms of information, right?
So they consume a lot.
Yeah.
According to one of the directors for a news agency in Brazil, they consume 7% of the global social media.
Really?
So it's huge.
Yeah.
It's like, I think you need to start doing like something to translate your page to Portuguese.
So there is an AI program you can use that will translate it, but it doesn't translate it by putting captions. It actually will translate with the voice,
yes.
and it still uses my voice and changes it.
Yes.
And I think we should do it in Portuguese, in Spanish. We should do it in a bunch of languages.
Yeah, I think so because I saw that Mr. Beast is doing that in 16 languages.
Yeah, he is. And he's hiring like voice actors for that. But in our case, we wouldn't even have to do that. We can just use the AI thing.
The AI thing,
Yeah.
And I think because Woody Talk is so international,
Yes.
it covers pretty much the whole entire world. It's not something just local. And there's information for everybody to see.
Yes.
And I think just the way you put it, Mr. Man, is so much that you can take from that.
Right. Right.
Because it concerns the whole world. It's not something that, if this happens, what you say,
Yeah.
and people don't pay attention, it's affecting everybody.
Right. Right.
And I think if you do that, Mr. Man, it's going to
I think that's a good idea. Yeah.
a whole
So, but we would put that onto a different page, right? It would be a different account that's only in Portuguese, or would we do?
Yes. You do the same account,
Right.
same posts,
Right.
every day, just
With different languages.
Yeah, I think if you do one in Portuguese, it'll probably be really huge because they consume.
Yeah.
And there's a huge lag. I look at all the pages for Brazilian news.
Yeah.
I already got more followers than most of the big organizations
Wow.
in Brazil.
Wow.
And I've got 3 months.
Yeah.
And I post some little stuff. It's just me.
Right. Right.
I
Right.
do sometimes I wake up 5 something in the morning. I do 1 hour, 2 hours research. I find the stuff that I think is relatable to Brazilians, and I post it.
Yes.
And then I do another hour, 2 hours at night.
Wow.
9, 10 o'clock.
Wow.
11 o'clock at night. I'm working till that hour more or less, and I post. So I got 2 hours in every corner of the.
Yeah.
And when you look at your followers, you can see the hours that they watch your
Yes.
stuff the most. And I try to be
Yes.
in that range. And now, just now, I learned that you can also schedule the posts.
Yes.
So now looking at that, I can see where I'm getting the most followers. And how my engagement is. I don't know if you know this or not, but if you click here, and in professional dashboard, it shows you all of the stuff, everything that you're getting, the amount of people getting, what, who you reaching, and the amount of stuff that you got, and then your audience. You see,
Yes.
Sao Paulo.
77% in Brazil. Yeah. That's crazy. Love it. Yes. Yes. Good. Yeah. Yes. You tell me again? Kalshi? Yep. The parrot thing. Okay, and then but they're still going to cut up all those other little bits, I think, too, right? Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'll tell them.
They'll need the lead. They'll need the lead off
That's what I was thinking.
into it.
Okay, all right, cool.
Yes.
So they don't need to design anyone. They can use that.
You use that template. Okay.
Yes.
And are the templates for posts and reels?
You would do like, let's say you do a post, you can use that.
Right.
Say you want to do a reels.
Yeah.
Just when you finish editing the reels for Instagram, choose the cover.
Yes.
And choose that same cover that you use for the post.
Got it.
So when they do, if they're looking at the grid, they'll have all the posts. You See how I do mine?
Yes, and how you alternate it. Yes.
So when you look at it, it has a structure.
Ooh,
You see what I'm saying?
I like it.
So, and then if I go here, if I go into Reels,
Looks like that.
you see what I'm saying?
Yes.
And it has a structure. So, like, look, this guy, it's a hacker that hacked NASA. I don't know if you know.
I heard about that. Yeah.
And he texted me.
Oh, he did.
Like, shoot.
Delete.
And he said, thanks. So I
Really?
texted back. I said, man, thank you for. I imagine you're busy, and he's been posting stuff. Like, he's really helping people.
Yeah.
He's really helping.
That's
people.
awesome.
That's not a
You're like, oh no! I love it. That looks great. Do me a favor, and can you just screenshot that look for me?
Yes.
The way you've done it, and that way I can show that to them too, because that's a great way. Just airdrop it to
show
me.
you the page
Yes.
tag all my 3 posts with
Yeah.
the most. So like this one, I have a million. It just hit a million. This one has 23. But this is the one that I want to get exposed now.
Yeah.
The one with the most important.
Oh,
things
pin
for
them.
you. Yes,
Pin them.
sorry.
Yeah.
You
I
can
did that
pin-
this morning. I went back and
Good.
pinned them this morning.
Nice. Yeah, and that'll help you a lot. But let me take a photo of this. The hacker guy.
What was it?
That's the hacker guy.
Oh, it was him?
Yeah, that's him. He's there like all the time now. That's him right there. 7H3 or whatever.
Oh.
But look at this people right here.
Oh, yeah. Exactly.
Same thing.
Yep. Like you said, very structured. Feels
Yes.
very structured.
And you can see exactly what's what. I'll send it to Miss Fernando.
Oh, yeah.
And I made one for you
I
too.
saw that.
You saw
That
it?
was-
yeah.
I
So I
appreciate
don't know
that.
if you want to change that or have something different.
I don't have a logo, but I have a signature, and I'll send it to you the way the B is signed. You can just use that thing.
I can use it inside and just
Yeah.
put your name on the bottom.
I'll send that to you.
Yes, sir.
I'll send it to you. Thank you. Ready? Oh, yes. Oh, and when you shoot it, let's make it a little wider. Yeah, because what's happening is there's no headroom for him, so when he's editing them, he needs to be able to, like, adjust it, because otherwise my head's hitting the top behind the camera.
I saw that on Instagram.
Yeah. I told him, I said, why is it coming out this way? He's like, they're not giving me a headroom, and I was showing him, and he's like, just tell him to shoot it wider so I can crop it better. I said, okay. I said, you're the boss, applesauce.
I guess he's cropping everything.
You could, but he's like, otherwise now your feet are gone. So if he crops it that way and brings it down, now it's just like, I just do what I'm told by my 18-year-old.
Your photo is very
He tells me what to do, I just do it. And what's happening up here? Oh, it's that thing. Got it. Yeah, that's better. Yeah.
I'm gonna try, but I'm not gonna insist much. Yeah, the cable was like, I don't know why. It was dancing
Oh, it was
here.
hanging
I was
down,
like,
yeah.
what's happening with this cable?
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, I'm not gonna.
It is what it is. Okay, and then Maria, let's just roll through it. Why do we have is it the Lebanon flag? Is that what that is? That's a Lebanon flag, right? All right, those chants outside the DNC in August have grown into potentially I'm just wondering why is it the Lebanon flag? Oh, is that what this one is? Yeah. Oh, okay. Got it. Okay. No, that's fine. That's fine. Let's just. But I think this is the wrong script then for this. Yeah, so no, just switch the script. Keep the background, switch the script. Now we are? Devastating video of Israeli army forces dynamiting the southern Lebanese village of Muhabib. The village is famously known as the home of Benjamin, son of Jacob and great-grandson of Abraham. In fact, it was the home of a 2,100-year-old shrine to Benjamin. The town is just over 70 miles south of the Lebanese capital in Beirut. Southern Lebanon has been scene of intense fighting between the IDF and Hezbollah in the past 2 weeks, with both sides claiming victories and casualties. Israeli soldiers were later shown celebrating the destruction of Muhabib. That's it? Am I right? Over here? Right, but I went to my left. Yeah, I need you to go that way. Let's go that way. Okay. In 3, 2. Devastating video of Israeli army forces dynamiting the southern Lebanese village of Muhabib. The village is famously known as the home of Benjamin, son of Jacob, great-grandson of Abraham. In fact, it was home to a 2,100-year-old shrine to Benjamin. That town is just over 70 miles south of the Lebanese capital of Beirut. Southern Lebanon has been the scene of incredible, intense fighting between the IDF and Hezbollah in the past 2 weeks, with both sides claiming victories and casualties. Israeli soldiers later shown celebrating the destruction of Muhabib. I feel like it's almost too short. Like he's not telling us anything. Basically, we're just trying to get clicks off of the video. Here it is blowing up. You want to watch something blow up again? Blow it up again. All right. I'm going to switch check. Yeah, I don't need it, though. Those chants outside the DNC in August have grown into potentially the worst fear for Democratic candidate Kamala Harris. Muslim voters across the nation, in particular in swing states, now moving their support away from the Democrats toward Jill Stein and the Green Party. Way to go, guys. A recent poll by a Muslim rights group shows Muslim Americans support both Kamala Harris and Jill Stein evenly, at 29%, and in important swing states like Michigan especially, but also Wisconsin and Arizona. Jill Stein is significantly beating Harris among those Muslim voters. Jill Stein's anti-war policies, especially in regard to Israel's aggression in Gaza and Lebanon, could be a weak point that catapults Donald Trump over the vice president in several very important battleground states. See, that one's much stronger, much stronger. Much stronger, Joe. Because he actually said something. And the last one he didn't. Told me nothing. So where are we going? Where we're going to celebrate when Trump